Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru.
ਨਾਸਰੇ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ। ਘਰ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਚੌਪਦੇ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। जियो डरत है अपना कैस्यो करी पुकार। दुख विसारण सेव्या सदा सदा दातार। साहिब मेरा नीत नवा सदा सदा दातार। साहिब मेरा नीत नवा सदा सदा दातार। आओ पहला रल मिल के गज वज के सारे बलाऊ फतेह। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। धन धन श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी महाराज जी has blessed us with this time, with this summer, to go through some Gurbani vichar, some Gurbani translations in English. It's not something that happens very often in Gurdwara, but with Maharaj's Kirpa, as this becomes a habit and starts to build up, that the Sangat starts to grow as well, as our youth start to find out slowly that this is something that is happening regular, that Maharaj does Kirpa and hopefully starts to bring the youth back into the Gurdwara when they start finding out, when they start hearing that these things are taking place in our Gurdwara, where they can come and connect to a language that they understand. So continuing from our last weeks, where last week we started to look at the arth of this Bani, of this Shabad written by Guru Nanak Dev Ji Padshah Ji. And as we said, that the first pankti here is a question from Matha Sulakhani Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Padshah Ji's respected wife, to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Padshah Ji. And she said to Maharaj Ji, as we started last week, she said to Maharaj, she put a question forward and she said, Jiyo darath hai apana kaisyo kari pukaar. Jiyo, the literal translation for Jiyo means life. And also Jiyo, the word Jiyo can also be translated to soul. But over here, the word Jiyo here is translated to heart. That my heart, Jiyo darath hai apana, darath means fear, that I am frightened. My heart inside is shaking. Jiyo darath hai apana kaisyo means to whom? Kede kol. Kaisyo karee pukaar. Pukaar means when, who can I cry out to? So Matha Sulakhani Ji is saying to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Padshah Ji that I've now reached not only an age but to an understanding that maybe I haven't done exactly what I should have been doing in this life. Not to say that Mataji was doing anything wrong, but now Mataji is saying I've come to that realization for what the purpose of life actually is. The purpose of life is to connect back to the Creator that we've all come from. She says, but now I'm afraid. Have I let too much time go by? Is it too late for me? So Mataji is asking this question in fear. But there's many of us that we might go through that fear as well, thinking that is it too late for me? Not only because of our age, we might be thinking is it too late for me because I've done too many things wrong. And sometimes you think, main bahut paap kite ne, well, will my Guru ever take me in? But Gursikh Pyaro, our Guru is such that Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah Ji is such a Guru that even within Gurbani itself, that the Sants are to say about Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah Ji that Kaljug Jahaj Arjan Guru Sagal Sreshta Lag Betaroho. This is Kaljug Jahaj within this darkness, this age of darkness. Kaljug is an era, but that era is there for us when we're living in darkness, when we're living in ignorance. What does it mean to be living in ignorance? It's like having a room and completely being blacked out, and then trying to go and pick something up, but not being able to see our target, not being able to see what we're here to do. And this is what Mataji is feeling at that moment, and feeling frightened. We might feel frightened sometimes, think it's too late, we can't, now my Guru is not going to take me in, but Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah is such a Guru, like I said, that Kaljug Jahaj, no matter how much we are taken over by darkness meaning when we're doing things completely the opposite way of the Guru. But he's such a Guru, he will still take us in. He's created and made such a boat for us that Kaljug Jahaj, Arjan Guru, Sagal Sreshta. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah didn't say, I'll only take a few people in, but Guru Arjan Dev Ji said that they'll take in Sagal Sreshta, everybody. No matter how much pap you come with. They said, you've still got a chance in life. So it's never too late. Just like this question here, and then Guru Nanak Dev Ji Padshah Ji answers Mataji, and then Guru Nanak Dev Ji Padshah says, Kende Dukh Visaran Sevaya Sada Sada Datar. This is, O Sulakhani, O my wife. This is Dukh Visaran Sevaya. This says, why don't you meditate upon that person? Why don't you meditate upon that being, that Dukh Visaran, that takes away our dukh? But over here, the word used here, very unique here. Saying Dukh means our pains. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is giving us an answer now. They're giving an answer to their wife, but that answer is for us also. They're saying Dukh Visaran Sevya. Sevya means to serve. But over here, seva, it's not the type of seva that we might be thinking in our mind. As soon as we hear the word when we hear the word to serve, we think it means to go downstairs and start cleaning the shoes. Yes, that's a seva. Yes, that's a part of a seva that we should all try and contribute in. But sevya over here means to remain in remembrance of Vaheguru. Many times in Gurbani, when this word comes up, sevya, it doesn't only mean those typical sevas that we've got in our mind. But sevya also means to remain in remembrance of Vaheguru, to serve Vaheguru in that way with your actions. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying, Dukh Visaran Sevya. Why don't you serve that being, jire tere dukh visar doga. Visar means to forget. Visar means to forget. Guru Nanak Dev Ji didn't say that will take him away. This is, but you will forget your dukh. So what does this mean? It means that you will be able to learn to live a life, if you serve Vaheguru Ji Akal Purkh, that even being in the midst of suffering, that Dukh Visaran, that you will forget that suffering. You won't acknowledge that suffering. You'll be able to endure that suffering with a smile on your face. That's what that means. Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, serve that being Vaheguru Ji Akal Purkh Dukh Visaran Sevya Sada Sada Datar. That Vaheguru that is forever and forever the giver of gifts. Sometimes we try and attach ourselves to people, but they aren't permanent. And that's why if you look at the next pankti, then Sadhguru Ji says, Sahib meraa neeth navaa sada sada datar. They're saying Sahib meraa neeth navaa. Neeth means all the time, every moment. They're saying Sahib meraa. Sahib means master. Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, that master that I am telling you to serve, O Sulakhani. This says, why don't you serve him? Because why? Because he's forever new. Because Vaheguru Ji never gets old. No matter what it is within this life. You can get a car that is brand new. You get it at the showroom and you're looking at it and you think it's gleaming, it's got no mark on it. But only within a week you start to see a difference, you start to see a change. You drive it down the road, a little pebbles come and hit against the bodywork, and that car starts to change. It's got a little scratch on it. It's not brand new anymore. But you know Vaheguru? He's always brand new. He's always like just something that you've taken out the showroom. He's never gonna get old. If something never gets old, you can never get bored of as well. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, I want you to serve that. If you look at this as Bani now, Sahib for us is Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Our master is Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Who is Guru Granth Sahib Ji Padshah? Is Bani Guru. Guru hai Bani. That our Guru is the Bani. So if you look at this now, that Sahib meraa neeth navaa, that Sada Sada Datar, that Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji is forever new. The Bani is forever new. Sada Sada Datar, it's always forever giving us gifts. You know that same Japji Sahib that we read every day, and some people say, Why do we have to read the same thing again and again and again? Why do we have to read the same thing again and again? Because you know why? Because the Bani is the Guru. The Guru is the form, is the reflection of Waheguru Ji themselves. So you know Japji Sahib, Sada Sada Datar, it's always giving us gifts, new gifts all the time. We might have read it for 10 years, but then 10 years later we pick something out of it that we didn't see all for those whole 10 years. It's given us a new gift after 10 years. That's how it will never get old. That Sada Sada Datar, the Bani will keep giving you something. You keep reading the same thing again and again, and sometimes within the same week, you've looked at one pankti one way, but then a week later, you see it in a different reflection. You see it in a different light. You see it from a different view, and it's given you another gift. That's how this Bani is forever new for us. That Akal Purkh will never get old. But Satguru Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha saying, Dukh Visaran, it will take away. It will make you forget your dukh. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji, when Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji was young, they actually told us about what dukh is, for us to understand what is suffering. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha has gone through many ceremonies, they've gone through schooling. Guru Nanak Dev Ji's fathers tried to put Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji into 2 schools. But both schools, both times, both the teachers said, we can't teach your son, because he comes out with such philosophy that is even beyond us, and he's teaching us through it. They sent him to the school first, to a Panda Gopal. The first teacher was called Gopal. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha says, I want you to tell me what these letters mean. And he says, I don't know what these letters mean. It's like us asking somebody, what does A mean, what does B mean? Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha is asking the teacher, I want you to tell me what each letter means. He says, I don't know what the letters mean. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha said, what type of life is that without a meaning? What is the point of learning? What is the point of learning something that hasn't got a meaning behind it? Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha says, this is learn the meaning of your life as well. And then Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha uchar bani de, this is sassay soe sist jinsaji. And again they went to the second school, which was a Farsi school, which was to go and learn the Persian letters. And again there Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha, the same thing happened. But then as time went by, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji, they didn't go to any schools anymore, because the teacher said, he teaches us, he's way beyond us. And then one day, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji is now sitting at home. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji is sitting in their room at home, they're sitting on a mattress, and their mother and father is getting worried. And their Mata Pita start to say, they said he doesn't come out anymore, he's always sitting in his room and he's always uttering something, he's always saying some words. And then Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji sits in their room, for many days have passed now. And then Gursikh Pyareo, as many days passed, Matha Sulakhani starts to get worried. Mata Tripata Ji starts to get worried. About dukh, I'm telling you here about dukh. Over here, Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, serve that Waheguru Ji, that dukh visaran, that will make you forget your dukh. This is what they're saying to their wife. But they told us about what dukh is when they were in their youth. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha is now sitting in their room on their bed. They didn't come out of their room for many days. The father's getting worried, saying, what is our child going to do? What is our son going to do? And then one day, Mata Tripada Ji, the mother of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji, go into Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji's room, and they say, this is, oh my child, oh my son, this is, why don't you just come out for a little while? Why don't you go and play with the children in the streets? Why don't you go out into the village like everybody else does? But then Mata Ji looked towards Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha and looked towards Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji's lips. And she realized and she saw that, why is his lips always moving? Because Guru Nanak Dev Ji, upon the tongue of Guru Nanak Pacha was always the name of Waheguru Ji. Forever reciting Waheguru Ji's name, always saying Sat Kartar, Sat Kartar, Sat Kartar. Oh Creator Waheguru, you are the complete and utter truth. So aao Sadguru Ji di Bani ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਵਿਸਾਰਨ ਸੇਵਿਆ ਸਦਾ ਸਦਾ ਦਾਤਾਰ. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji ਬੈਠੇ ਨੇ, they're in their room sitting on a mattress. The mother walks in and they're saying, oh my child, why is your lips always moving? Why have you come out to play for so long? You've not spoke to anyone. We bring you food you've not even eaten for so many days. She said, just for one moment, just come away from what you're doing. She said, just for one moment, just stop saying whatever you're saying. If you're saying God's name, God's not going to be upset with you, even for one moment. If you just come away, just come outside, just be normal for a little while. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pathaji's eyes are filled with tears at this point. They look towards their Mata, they look towards their mother. This is, oh mother, this is Akha Jiva Visre Mar Jaun. This is, hey Mata Ji, kende Akha Jiva. This is, oh my mother, only if I recite, only if I connect to Waheguru, only then I am alive. We might look at people around us, we might think they're alive. Because why? Because they're walking and they're talking. We might think that they're alive, that they're wearing nice clothes. We might think that they're alive because they've got good jobs, they've got nice houses. But Gursikh Pyaro, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pathaji is saying, Akha Jiva. They're saying no. This is, you're only alive if you remember Waheguru. This is, oh my mother, I am only alive, I only feel alive when I remember Waheguru. And you're asking me to stop doing that? You asked me to come away from that for a little while? Visre mar jaun. This is, but when anybody forgets Waheguru, this is equivalent to being dead. And then they start to worry even more. As their worry increases, what do? They bring a doctor home. As they bring a doctor home, Guru Nanak Pathaji tell this within the Gurbani later on. Later on in Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pathaji's life, they must have been reflecting back to their childhood, and they must have been sitting there and laughing. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pathaji must have been writing this and laughing and remembering that time from their childhood. And they start to say, they're saying, Vaid balaya vaidgi pakad tandole ba. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pathaji, I remember my childhood. They're writing this down now. They're saying, Vaid balaya vaidgi. They said they bought a Vaid into the house. They said they thought I was ill, so they bought a doctor into the house. It says Vaid means doctor. This is Vaid balaya vaidgi. Kende onu apani vaidgi karaun vaste kende balaya gaya kende ghar de andar. Vaidgi means they brought him inside, they brought him into the house to do his little doctory stuff, whatever he needs to do. Kende what he did, they said I was sitting on my bed, and this is pakad tandole ba. Kende pakad ke, kende they gripped onto my arm really tightly. The doctor did, Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, sitting there laughing and remembering their childhood. They sang pakad tandole. Then he said, Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, he started looking for something. Tandole ba. He's looking for something in my arm. But he didn't know this much. That pola vaid na jane. Jara pola vaid si na. That poor doctor, what did he know? Pola vaid na jane. Kark kaleje mahe. I had this pain in my heart. That pain wanting to become absolutely one with what Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pathaji was one with Waheguru. They're teaching us. They're saying, have we got that pain? Have we got that pain and realizing that we're separated and wanting to be back with that Creator where we've come from? Where real Anand Sukh lies. We're all looking for happiness. We're all looking for Anand. We're all looking for bliss. But whatever happiness we try and obtain, it only lasts a short period of time. Why? Because whatever we're trying to get it from is impermanent itself. But bliss means something that never comes to an end again. Something that once comes to you but never leaves you. That's what bliss is. Why do we feel like that? Why? Because agade, abade, anandi, sarupe. Because Guru Gobind Singh Ji Pathaji says, this is what is Waheguru like? This says Waheguru Ji is agade. Waheguru Ji is so deep, is deeper than an ocean. This is agade, abade. This is, he's so deep you can't find the limits to Waheguru. Then he is Anandi Sarupe. Waheguru Ji is the form of Anand, the form of bliss. That happiness that never comes to an end. Waheguru Ji is the form of that. And remember, where have we all come from? Kabir eho Ram ki ans. Kaho Kabir eho Ram ki ans. We have originated from Ram, from Waheguru. We was a part of that Anand. We did feel that bliss once upon a time. And you know, when you've had something once, you want it back again and again. You want it back. When you've had Anand, you're searching for it, you want it again. But what are people doing? They're turning to drugs, they're turning to alcohol. They're turning to relationships. They're turning into trying to get that bliss from cars. Why are we trying to do that? Because we had something one day. Because we came from Waheguru. Kit ho upajay. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha Ji asked us a question in Basant Ki War. They're saying, Sikho, kande kit ho upajay, where have you come from? Kehe rahe, where are you living now? Kitho upajay kehe rahe samaye, where are you heading? 3 things Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha Ji asked. This is, do you know where you've come from? Somebody might say, yes, I've come from my mother's womb. But that's not the question Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha is asking. They're saying not where these bodies come from. We are more than just this body. There is a body within this body, which we call the Sukham Sarir, which houses our soul. Kaat mein har ju base. Kaat means heart, but they said it twice. Another way of looking at it, you don't only look at it like this to say we didn't eat in every heart, but within this, the body of this body. There's another body within this body that travels after death as well. When Kabir Ji says, Jam ka thenga bura hai, ohna sehya jaye. Bhakt Kabir Ji saying, Jam ka thenga bura hai. You know when the messengers of death strike you, it's not this body that gets beaten, it's the body that's within this body. It's that body that gets beaten. So coming back onto point. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said a doctor came, but he didn't realize that karka kaleje mahe, that the pain is in my heart, the pain of love that I've got for Waheguru Ji. How could he ever find that through my pulse? And then Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, they said, I remember that time. They said instead, I was so intoxicated in Waheguru, I started saying to the doctor, do you know what dukh really is? Do you know what suffering really is? And the doctor froze. He says, and you can imagine this. Imagine a little child questioning a doctor that's done so much education. What do you think the doctor would say? If you think of a Punjabi doctor, he'll say, Doctor, main ka tu haan? That's the jawab you'll get. Just like sometimes when a child answers back to their parents. And then the mother will say, the pita will say, Kende pe tu haan mera ke main tera pe haan? And over here the same thing's happening. The doctor saying, Kende doctor kaun hai ithe? Who is the doctor over here? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha, not showing any ego at all, they start to recite the divine words of Waheguru as a child Bani was coming to them. And this is, let me tell you, this is dukha vishoda. This is the biggest suffering anybody can have is of separation. Kende dukha vishoda, ek dukha pukha. And they gave 4 types of suffering over here Guru Nanak Dev Ji did as a child to the doctor, which is today in Gurbani. This is the biggest suffering anybody could ever go through is separation. If we look at this on a worldly level, when somebody is very attached to somebody, and if that person goes missing, just like Baji was saying, somebody's gone missing, what must their family be going through? That feeling of separation from someone that you love dearly. That is the biggest pain. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha is saying, why do I say this as number 1, dukh vishoda? They're saying the root suffering of every human being is because we are not connected to the Creator, to Waheguru Ji, that we have all come from, that we are truly born from. That is the form of love. We all seek love. We all trying to find love. Why? Again, because Waheguru Ji is the murti of prem, is the form of prem. We actually was love once upon a time. It's not that we loved someone, we was love. We was the form of love. That's why we are looking for love again. And that's why people are in and out again, especially our youth, are in and out of relationships. One day with Rinku, then next day with Tinku. Why? Because they're looking for that love that once upon a time they had. Not just had, they were that love. They were love. And how can we describe that? How can we explain that? Everything today, if you look at the elements have got a nature to them. Sabaya, tatanda. If we take Agni Tat, if we take the element of fire, it's got a nature to it, it's got a sabah to it. If you go towards that fire, it's got two sabahs, it can burn us, but also it gives us a sukh as well. ਉਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸੇਕ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਉਹ, ਨਿੱਘ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਅੱਗ. It gives us that warmth. That's what fire does. Gursikh Pyaro, that's the nature of fire. It doesn't discriminate. No matter who comes, somebody black or white, poor or rich, no matter who comes to that fire, they're going to feel that warmth. And that's what Waheguru Ji is. Waheguru Ji isn't like, I only love you if. Waheguru Ji is love. To experience love, we have to get closer to Waheguru again. Here's the fire, but to experience the warmth of that fire, we have to go to that fire. To experience love, we have to go to Waheguru. We have to get closer to Waheguru again. Then we will experience what love is. Then it won't be a love that is discriminated. It's not that I hate you and I love you. I prefer you because your dastar is better than your dastar. Then it's not that. Then when we get closer to Waheguru, when we start experiencing that love, we will become love. And then people can come and experience that love from us as well. Just like somebody goes to the fire, people can then come to us and experience what love is, that vibration of love. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says the root suffering of all human beings is that we are separated from Waheguru. This is dukh vishoda ek dukh pukh. If we look at this physically as well, how hard, how difficult is it to suffer and to go through hunger, missing a meal, not having food for a complete and whole day. We can't think straight anymore. Our whole focus, you can try and sit there, you can sit here and say Waheguru, Waheguru. Now, if you've had breakfast this morning at 8, 9 o'clock, but as you start getting towards the end of the Katha, it's getting to 2 o'clock. If your stomach starts to rumble, what will your Simran become? Remember, what does Simran mean? Simran means remembrance. What will you start to remember? What will your Simran become? If your stomach starts to rumble, it won't be sitting here and thinking, what is Baljit Singh saying? What is my Guru Nanak saying? It'll go directly to your stomach, to that sound, and it'll say, what does my stomach want? Because hunger, it's so hard to override. Ek dukh bhukh. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Bani, there's always a deeper meaning as well. Even Bhagat Kabir Ji says, that Bhagat Kabir Ji says, bhukhe bhagat na kijhe, yeh mala apni lijhe. Bhagat Kabir Ji says, this is, look, I'm hungry. This is, oh Waheguru, I've not had enough food to eat. You've not given me enough food. And he says, here's your mala, take it, because my mind keeps going into my stomach. I can't do this anymore. Either give me some food or I'm giving this straight up. Bhagat Kabir Ji said. Gursikh Pyareo. But then the deeper meaning to that, ek dukh bhukh. What is the second suffering that we're all stuck in? Bhukh, the hunger of desires. Desiring something. That's what it means spiritually. Ek dukh bhukh, ek dukh saktvar jam doot. Saktvar jam doot is when the messengers of death come and take us away. And the third type of suffering, Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, is the fear of death. So many people are living in that fear. Pata nahi kado aaj na oh din mere upar. I don't know when that day is going to come for me. I don't know when. I don't want my mother to leave this world. I'm not going to be able to live without my mother. I don't know how I'm going to cope if my father leaves. Living in the fear of death all the time and not actually living life. Always thinking about tomorrow, but what if, how am I going to live without that person? Guru Nanak Dev Ji says that's a third type of suffering. It's always constantly being worried about death. Ek dukh saktvar jam doot, ek dukh rog lage tan tae. And then there's that fourth type of dukh, when your body is taken over by rog, by diseases. But we're also, there's a body that can be taken over by diseases. That's a type of suffering. But then there's the inner body of our mind that can be taken over by the disease of ego. And that's a huge dukh. That's a huge suffering somebody has to go through. Because again, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying, home dirg rog hai. Daru pi isma hai. They're saying that home, that ego is a dirg rog, is a very deep disease. Because it's so deep. You know how deep it is? You know, just as you're about to be ego, Just as you think and you're becoming low and you start to live in humility, then you get ego that, look how humble I am. There's no one as humble as me out there. So you get ego about being humble. That's how thin this path is. Kaneho tikhi, valho nikki et marg jana. That's how thin this path is of this ego. So it's been taken. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, how me dheer guroge? Yes, it's a very deep disease, but this says, but daru pi is mahe. But this says the medicine is also inside of this body. Karee mein amrit bharpoor hai, manmukh saad na paya. Jo kasturi mirg na jane, bharam da bharam pulaya. They're saying that the medicine is also in this body. Meaning that this human form of life is also the medicine where you can connect, where you've got Naam sitting inside of you. Inside sits Naam. Inside sits the opportunity for you to connect to Waheguru. And the first way to do that is say His name with love. And the word we've been given is Waheguru. Is try it. Don't let God be a belief system for you. Try God out for yourself. And the first step to try God out for yourself is wake up early in the morning, have a bath, and even if you sit for 2 minutes and just say and call upon His name with love, that's the first step. To start experiencing something divine and beyond this physical body and this physical life. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Patsha Ji, they go through the dukhs, saying dukh visaran, all these dukhs that they have named, they said, you can overcome them by serving, by remaining in remembrance of Waheguru. They're saying this to their wife and they're saying this to us too. They're saying Sada Sada Datar, Sahib meraa, neeth, navaa, Sada Sada Datar. If we look towards the people of this world to give us something, they might be able to give us something today, but because they're full of their own pains, when you go to them with your pain the following day, they might have something on their mind so much. They say, Prava, tu apana dukh shad, tu mera ta pehla sun. They said, forget about your suffering, forget about your dukh, listen to what I'm going through. You've gone to tell somebody about your suffering. Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is Bani saying, Jis manuk peh karo benati so apana dukh parya. Saying that manuk, that being that you go to, that human being that you go to do benati, saying, listen to me, I'm suffering. Jis manuk peh karo benati. That you go and say, look, meri galta sun, look what I'm going through. They're saying, so apne dukh parya, he's full of his own sufferings and his own pain. And he'll say, wait 1 minute, listen to this. I can better that. I'm way worse than you. Tera to kuch nahi ka. Tai, but Matha Sulakhani was so lucky, she had the Guru to tell. She's crying her pain directly to the Guru. So there's 2 forms that we should cry our pain to. One is you try it. Sit in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji and talk from inside. You don't need words. Let your heart speak. Let your tears speak. And He will listen. That's one way. Some people find that difficult because they need a form to connect to. I remember once, the Mahapurkh that I took Santhya off that taught me Gurbani, once I was sitting in the Darbar Sahib, and as the Mahapurkh was walking past, he looked at me saying कि तेनु लोड़ नहीं है मी किते जाके किसे सामने हाथ जोड़ने किसे सामने हाथ जोड़ने. You don't need to run around and keep folding your hands to different people, to different saints. कहंदे गुरु साडा इहो जिहा आ. This is Guru Granth Sahib Ji such. This is in the Darbar Sahib in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. The Mahapurkh said the Guru is such that he will even listen to your thoughts. A passing thought, he will even listen to that. The Mahapurkh went inside. And in my mind, and after the Kirtan finished, somebody, the Granthi Singh started to read Rehra Sahib Di Bani. He started to read Rehras, and at that time, I was about 20 years old, going back about 13 years ago. And in my mind, I thought, oh, I could do that. I'd love to sit on stage and read the Rehras as well. But it was only really older guys, especially at that Asthan. I'd always see people like 40 plus and stuff reading Rehras there. And the Mahapurkh just said to me at that point that Guru Sahib will even read your passing thoughts. And I sat there, I just had a passing thought, I forgot about it. I had a thought, I'd love to sit there and read the Rehras on stage. And remember, then I got up from the darbar after Ras, did Matha Tek, after Ardas, I went into the langar hall. And the Mahapurakh looked at me and he says, Kende kyon? He says, Idhar aa. Kende Baljit se ho? हाँ कहते तुसी भी रह रहा पढ़ सकते हैं स्टेज ते बह के कहते कल आ जियो कहते चोला पा के कहते come tomorrow with a chola कहते we'll listen to you read it out on stage. This is that Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj with that power. But Guru Sikh Pyaro, sometimes it's difficult to connect with Sadhguru Ji because sometimes we are looking for that form because we are human beings. But then Sadhguru Ji says Tisar Roop Sikh hai more Gurbani Rat Jeh Nispor. Bhai Nandalal Ji said, they said the third form of our Guru are the Sikhs. This is Tisar Roop Sikh hai more Gurbani Rat Jeh Nispor. But those Sikhs that are completely imbued in their Guru's Bani, in day and night, those beings that Janam Maran do ho mein nahi, Jan par upakari aaye, that are completely beyond their own sufferings and they are only here in compassion of others. Collectively talk to a Sangat. That Sangat that sits there, reads Bani, shares Guru stories, share your pain with them. And the Guru will be residing amongst that Sangat. Which Sangat har prab vasah jiyo, my Guru, my Waheguru resides in the Sangat. Share your dukh with the Sangat. Share your dukh with that Gurmukh Pyara that isn't living for himself or herself, is living for the world in compassion. Khair, I'm going to quickly go through the Akri Arth, now the rest of this Shabad. And then Guru Sahib Ji, and Mata Ji said, they said, Oh Guru Nanak Pacha, you are saying to me, connect with Waheguru, that Dukh Visaran Sevya, that Waheguru that takes away people's suffering. She said, I have realized and I have seen now, O Guru Nanak, you have been going around for 30 odd years. You have been that Sada Sada Datar. You are that forever and forever giver. I've seen you, O my husband. You've gone to murderers' houses, but you still didn't get tired. Because what does it mean that neeth navaa, forever new? Forever new means that I never get tired. You know, I just remembered something from this. That denda de, lande thak pahe. You've all heard this in Japji Sahib. That denda de, that Waheguru Ji keeps giving, denda de. The giver keeps giving, lande thak pahe, but we get tired receiving. What does this mean? A great Mahapurakh said about this once. He said, if you want to merge back with, if you want a relationship with Waheguru, then you need to start becoming like Waheguru. Are we only going to sit here and think that Waheguru is the giver, Waheguru is the giver? He says, don't you need to become the giver as well? Don't you need, this says, and this Mahapurakh said so beautifully, this says you, each individual person, this says if you call yourself a Sikh of the Guru, you need to become such that denda de, you keep giving to someone so much. I don't mean physical things. I mean, you know, if somebody comes to you with their pain, you keep letting them have your shoulder to cry on. You keep being there for them, to be their support for them. That denda de, they keep coming to you and you keep giving to them. You keep easing their pain. They keep coming to you, you keep giving to them. And then they're thinking, denda de, and eventually lande thak pahe, the one that you keep giving to, they put their hands together, or thak jandeya. You gotta give to them so much that they get tired. Tired meaning what? Where they break down into tears, they put their hands together. They said, what are you? They'll say, who are you? Are you a human being? Are you a devta? Are you a deity? You keep giving to me. I can't believe you haven't got tired of me. I keep coming to you with my pain, but you've never got tired of me. You keep giving to me. You keep embracing me. That's how we need to become. If we want to merge back with Waheguru, that is denda de, we need to become denda de. We need to hear somebody say to us, Bas karo paji, tusi kinna kadai jana sanu. That's how giving we need to become. She said, Matha Sulakhani said, you went to Sajjan Thag's house. He was a murderer. You helped him. You didn't get tired. You didn't stop there. You went to a cannibal's house. He ate human beings. But you even looked at him. That tapat kadaha bujh gaya. That even when you looked at him, even he's burning cauldron, the burning cauldron of his inner self that was burning. Gurseetal naam diya, but you gave him that tender, that cool naam, remembrance of Waheguru. You didn't get tired even then. You kept giving. Sada sada datar. Oh Guru Nanak, you tell me to serve Waheguru. I want to serve you. You are Waheguru for me. You are that. I've never seen you get tired. People swore at you. Koi aakhe putna, ko kahe betala. Somebody called you a poot. Somebody called you a ghost. Somebody called you a betala. Somebody that is out of rhythm of life. Koi aakhe aadmi nanak bechara. Somebody just called you a poor mortal. Somebody called you a bechara. Bechara pagal ho gaya. Ino ki ho gaya when he came out the Vay Nadi. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, Peya Devana Sahaka. They said, yes, I've gone mad, but I've gone crazy in the love of my Waheguru. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said to the world. She said, I saw people throwing stones at you. I saw people saying to you, you are mad. You are mad. Even then you didn't get tired. You still gave to those that even called you mad. She says, oh Guru Nanak, I want to serve you. That's how we should feel today. We should say, oh Guru Nanak, you haven't gone anywhere. I want to serve you, O Guru Nanak. How do we serve our Guru? And then we look here in the next Pangatiyan. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, how much do I want you to serve Waheguru? He says, this much. An din Sahib seviye, ant shadaye soe. I want you to serve him an din. An means night, din means day. An din Sahib seviye, day and night. The other way around. Night and day, I want you to serve Waheguru Ji. How do you serve Waheguru? For us, we want to serve Waheguru in the form of our Guru. How do we serve our Guru? Chakar lagge chakri je challe khasme paaye. How do you serve our Guru? You serve our Guru by doing what our Guru asks us to do. Gur sikhi ka karm eho, gur farmaye, gur sikh karna pai. Gurdas Ji. They're saying, who is a Gursikh? What is the job of a Gursikh? Gursikhi ka karm eho. That Gur farmaye, my Guru orders, and Gursikh karna, that is how you serve the Guru. If my Guru says, hey bacche, tu apne case qatl na kar, if you don't cut your case from that day, you are serving the Guru. That's how you serve the Guru. It doesn't only mean that if I go and wash the dishes, but then I do what I want. I keep washing the dishes, but then I keep doing the opposite to what my Guru wants me to do. That doesn't mean serving the Guru. That doesn't mean don't wash the dishes. Because we can learn so many things from washing the dishes. Because the dishes will say to us, the dishes, look at, it's a panda, it's a vessel. That panda will say, look at yourself, you are a vessel, you are a panda as well. They're saying, look at this panda, it's got dirt on it. They're saying, remember, you got dirt inside of you from creating so many sins from so many janam. Janam janam ki is man ko mal lagi kala hua syaho. From so many janam, I've done so many things. My inside, this vessel inside, in my mind, I've created so much gand. Those pande, when we're washing those pande, when you look at the gand, it will remind you, I've got gand inside of me. But then when you open that water, you get the saban. Then you will remember, if I get the naam, roop, saban, if I get the saban, if I go and get the soap from my Guru, that soap is naam. But we can only get it from the Guru. If you then go and get the soap, if you go and get the water from the Guru, then you can start washing away just like you wash those dishes. You wash your mind that has collected all those sins from so many different life forms. Look how much you can learn from just washing dishes. I'll come back to here. Guru Nanak Pad saying, An din Sahib seviye, day and night, O Matha Sulakhani Ji, my respected wife, I want you to serve Waheguru. Ant shadaye soe, you're worried about what's going to happen to you after death. You're worried that the messengers of death are going to come and take you. No, they won't. Not if you remain in remembrance of why. Not if you do what your Guru asks you to do. The Guru's way is a guaranteed way of life. Guaranteed. You know, people say, look, people say, what will I get? But first thing, we've got to trust our Guru. If you trust your Guru, if you've got faith in your Guru, then you know whatever my Guru asks me to do, the result can only be happiness. Only happiness. Don't question it. It will only be happy. Nothing but happiness will come to your life if you follow the Guru. Sun sun meri kamani par utara hoy. Saying sun sun, listen, listen. Matha Sulakhani. Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, Kamani means wife as well. But Kamani means our soul as well. So we need to say to our inside, wake up. We need to say, Sun, sun. Listen my inside, Sun meri kamani par utara hoye. If I serve my Guru, if I do what my Guru says, then par utara hoye, then I'll get across this treacherous life ocean. This ocean that is drowning us, the ocean of attachment, we will get across. Par means the other end. Utara hoye, you can get to the other end by serving the Guru. Par utara hoye, diyal tera Naam tara. Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, how can you get across? What will you have to do? Diyal. You'll have to take that diyalus, that compassionate Vaheguruji's naam, his name. You have to start uttering his name. And let that name eventually go inside of you. Go inside of you to which point? Where Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Paatshah declared to the world. This is Ram Naam Aur Mahangeo जाके सम नहीं कोए जय सिमरत संकट मिटे दर्स तुहारो होए. Sing Ram Nam और मैं गयो. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji says, I declare to the world, I was reciting Vaheguruji's name with my tongue one day, but then what happened? Ram Nam or means heart, but then his name went into my heart, where his remembrance became effortless. Where I remained in his remembrance forever, all the time. But you got to start from your tongue first. It's the root of taking his remembrance into your heart. This is Diyal tere naam tara. I can swim across this ocean of this life of attachment only if I start uttering your name. And then it says, Sad kurbane jao. I am a forever sacrifice to that Vaheguru. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah Ji saying Rahao. That is the second part to the Shabad. And then in the third part, this is what's another way of serving Vaheguru. What's another way of serving Vaheguru? Where is Vaheguru? Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Matha Sulakhani, let me tell you another way of serving Vaheguru. This says, Sarbang Sacha Ek hai. This is where does that ek Vaheguru Ji Kalpurkh Ji sit? This is Sarb. Ang means inside. Sarb means everyone. Says Sulakhani, says, oh my wife, that Vaheguruji sits inside of everyone. That's another way to serve Vaheguru, serve his creation. Serve the human beings, serve humanity. Sarbang Sacha Ek hai, that truth, the ultimate truth, that Ek Vaheguru sits in everyone. Serve everyone without any discrimination. Don't let only the langar stage remain in the four walls of the Gurdwara. Make langar and take them out. And give them even to those druggies, even to those alcoholics. Don't discriminate. Because why? Dekh chlai, te gwahi dekh ke undit kita. Don't look at that, the shortfalls. Don't look at the flaws in other people. You never know, through feeding that hungry person, through feeding that alcoholic on that street, through giving him langar, you never know, one day he might ask you, where did you get this concept from? And you can say, it's not mine. It's my beloved Guru Nanak Paatshah Ji's concept. Because one day when Guru Nanak Paatshah as a child, when he was given 20 rupees, when he came across those hungry sadhus, hungry saints, he was so compassionate, he couldn't see them. He couldn't see them in hunger anymore. They hadn't eaten for 7 days. Guru Nanak Paatshah Ji's eyes filled with tears. He says, I can't see you hungry anymore. Straight away, take this rupees, oh Balaji, and go and get them some food. This concept came from my Guru, and you never know, that drunken person might one day say, I want to learn about Guru Nanak. Where can I come to learn about Guru Nanak? And then you can say to them, you can come to the Gurdwara, just make sure you don't drink on that day. You can work to then slowly. Don't shut people away. Sarbang Sacha ek hai, duja nahi koe. There is nobody else. There is no other than Vaheguruji himself that sits in each and every heart. Serve humanity. Taki seva so kare, jako nadar kare. Taki seva so kare. But I can only serve Vaheguru when? Jako nadar kare, when he glances his vision upon me. When Vaheguruji glances his vision upon me, Keno gale na launda. Who does he embrace? Nanak Garib Teh Paya Dware. Jira Teh Penda. Jira Deg Jave. That person that falls, that doesn't remain in ego. Why is it when people say Dukhiyan te kate inni kirpa ho jadi inni sheti? Why is it that somebody that is so dukhi, when they come to a Mahapur, to the Guru, and why is it sometimes they blossom so much? Because when somebody is in pain, they come from inside completely broken. They come with no ego. That's how He will glance His vision on us when He sees those that have fallen onto the ground from inside, that have come and surrendered their arms and saying, Bal shutkiyo bandhan pare, kachu na hote paye kaho Nanak ab ot har, gaj jo ho sahaye. This is, I have lost, now I have surrendered in front of you. Those people He will then do His kirpa on. He will bless those people. Jako nadar kare, to the baj pyare kev raha. This is now birag, that state of birag. This says, they're saying, oh Sulakhani Ji, oh my wife, I want you to get to this point of your life that you say to Waheguru, to the Baj Pyare Kev Raha. We should say to this to my Guru, to the Baj Pyare, how can I live without you now? To the Baj Pyare Kev Raha, how can I live without you? How can we live without such a Guru like Guru Gobind Singh Ji Padshah? To the Baj Pyare Kev Raha, how can I live without you now? That's where we need to get in our lives. And they're saying, Sav Diyai De, give me that greatness. What is the biggest greatness that we can have in life? Jit naam tere lag raha, that I can attach to your name and always remain in your remembrance. That's the biggest greatness, that's the biggest gift anyone can ever receive in life. Duja nahi koe jis aage pyare jaye kaha. There is nobody else left for me in life. Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, let nobody else be in your life, O Sulakhani. That duja nahi koi, let there be nobody else left in your life. Jis aage, that you go in front of, pyare jai kaha, that you tell your pain to, let only that person be Waheguru for us. Let that person only be Guru Granth Sahib Ji and Guru Granth Sahib Ji Pachi Saad Ji Nawaji Saad Sangat. And then that is the third Shabad. And there's a Rahau again. Guru Pachi is saying, think about this Bisram, pause. And then they finish off. Sevi Sahib apana avrana jachon koe. Can they serve this Sahib? They're saying to Matha Sulakhani, serve Waheguru, but we're saying, remember, we're saying this to our Guru. We're saying Sevi Sahib apana, that Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, always serve Waheguru. And we can think of this to say, we always want to save you, Guru Granth Sahib Ji. We always want to save you, O Maharaj. That avrana jachon koe, jachon means to beg, to ask. That let me not ask from anyone else. Let me not now go to a Pandit. Let me not now walk into a mandir. Let me not now put my hands in front of a murti, in front of a Pandit, in front of anyone anymore. Let only my hands go in front of you, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Pacha, or those Gur Sikhs that are imbued in your name. And then Pacha Ji says, can this Nanak Taka Das? Then Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha started talking direct to Waheguru. They're not looking at Matha Sulakhani anymore. Now they're in so much love, they're talking directly to God. They're saying, Nanak Taka Das hai. They're saying, this Nanak, this is, I am a servant of you, Waheguru. In complete emotion now. In complete berag now. Saying, Nanak Taka Das hai. Bind bind chok chok hoye. They're saying, oh Waheguru Ji. They're saying, I'm your servant. I will save you in which way? With bind bind. Bind means a fraction of time. It says, I will save you. I will be a sacrifice to you for even that instant moment of time. Chok means a little bit, meaning each bit of my body. Tan man kaat sab arpi, which agni aap jalai, which each part of my body, meaning each limb of my body I will save you with. And then they finish off the last pankti saying, Sahib tere Naam beto hon, bind bind chok chok hoye. This is not only am I a sacrifice to you, O Waheguru Ji, but I am a sacrifice to your Naam. That Naam that I started uttering with this tongue, but then eventually became my life. Sacha Naam meraa daro. It became the support of my life. It went inside, right into my heart, where I didn't even have to say your name anymore. I just remained and lived forever in your remembrance. Living in your remembrance means when you can reflect in your actions as well. How do we know somebody's remembering Waheguru? When somebody speaks sweetly. How do we know somebody's remembering Waheguru? When somebody comes to you and then you haven't forgiven them for so long. But how do you know now Naam is gone inside of you? When now you say you forgive them in an instant. You say, I was such a fool. I can't believe I didn't forgive you for so long. but now I forgive you. That's what it means to live in Waheguru Ji's remembrance. Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, I am a sacrifice not only to you but to your name as well, that has got me to this point of being in love with you so much. Nanak Sahib tere naam vito, oh my master, tere naam vito. Vito means sacrifice. I'm a sacrifice, bind, which each moment of my life, chok hoye, with each bit of my body, I'm willing to sacrifice, even if this body has to be cut into pieces, like Bhai Mani Singh Ji's body had to be cut into pieces, but still they remained in love. They didn't let that love break for the Guru even till the last moment. So itni ek benti prabhan karniya, gaj vaj ke balau fateh, Waheguru Ji ka khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki fateh.